Halloween 2018's ending includes one of the most iconic shots in the entire franchise. After 40 long years of waiting, Laurie Strode has finally finished what she started back in 1978 by burning her entire house down on top of Michael Myers and killing him once and for all. Or so she thought. Almost exactly a year from now, we're getting a direct sequel to Halloween 2018 called Halloween Kills, and based on the short teaser that was released to announce that movie, it's pretty safe to say that Michael Myers survived. Earlier this year, I made a theory video on how Michael could have survived the end of Halloween 2018, and in that video, I talked about how in the novelization, at the very end, it says that Michael could feel the mask bubbling up and melting into his skin because of the heat from the fire in the basement. And then from there, I started thinking about what it would look like in Halloween Kills if Michael Myers' mask was actually a part of him due to that fire. I've been thinking about this for months, so finally I decided to reach out to my friend Charles Briner and ask him if he wanted to take one of the Trick or Treat Studios Halloween 2018 masks that he usually rehauls and turn it into a concept mask from Halloween Kills. Unsurprisingly, he immediately said hell yeah and got to work on one of the coolest Halloween masks I have ever seen. I've talked about Charles a few times on my channel now because he takes Trick or Treat Studios mask, which looks really good for the price you pay for it, and completely rehauls it to look like the one in the movie, which would be a lot more expensive. And he does it at a really reasonable price. That's the one he did for me, sitting right there on the shelf behind me. Now, because the Halloween Kills mask I'm showing off today is actually just a concept and it took him a really long time to make it, it's going to be a one of a kind for now. But if you're looking for someone to rehaul your own 2018 mask, or you're looking for someone to purchase one that's already rehauled from, he is definitely your guy. His store is called C&K Custom Costumes and Props, and when Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends eventually comes out, in addition to the Halloween 2018 masks, he will be offering rehauls of the Trick or Treat Studios masks based on those movies. And if you're looking to complete your Michael Myers costume, he also offers prop knives from Halloween 1978 and Halloween 2018. But if you're going for your own custom costume based on a sackhead type look, he also makes his very own sackhead masks that are genuinely creepy to look at. Naturally, because Halloween is coming up, they're slammed with orders right now, but they will be getting a few more Halloween 2018 masks in soon, but thankfully they're open all year round, so if you miss this Halloween with your mask, you'll have a costume ready for next year. If you want your very own, head to the link down in the description, and if you have any specific questions, he's always available on Facebook, so I'll link that down there as well. So for this concept, Charles started out with a brand new Trick or Treat Studios Halloween 2018 mask. The line across the forehead is actually a factory defect, and he could have sent it back and gotten it replaced very easily, but we decided to use this mask because it was going to look deformed in the end anyway, and it actually does look pretty cool. As for how he made the mask look burned, it's actually all authentic. He put the mask on a stick and sat in front of a bonfire and spun it around to melt it all the way around, but then in the focus spots like the right side of the mask and on the cheeks, he would just hold it for a few extra seconds standing still, and that caused the mask to bubble up just like it does in the novel, which is awesome, and it gives it more of an unsettling look because it's sagging just a little bit more than the other 2018 mask I already have, which is exactly what we were going for. Where you can really see it is in the eye holes, which are just a little bit bigger than on my other Halloween 2018 mask, and again, I think that's what makes it just a little bit more unsettling than the other one. I also think it's worth pointing out that from the very beginning, it was really important to us that this mask is still instantly recognizable as a Halloween 2018 mask that's kind of evolved a little bit. We didn't really want it to sag too much. And that's really because the mask is so integral to Michael Myers as a character, or lack of character as John Carpenter initially intended. The most we should ever see of Michael Myers' face is a dead eye, and then again, that might be a little too much. A good example of where the franchise went wrong with this is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. By the end of that movie, the mask is so torn and tattered that you can see Tyler Mane's entire face, and at that point, Michael Myers becomes a human serial killer, and that's not what we wanted to see. We wanted the mask to cover up the face underneath it, so that's why we didn't burn it too much. And that's why the next question we had to ask ourselves is, what should we do with the hair? Realistically, a fire like the end at the one of Halloween 2018 would burn off almost, if not all of the hair on the mask. So instead of burning it all off, Charles decided to take it all off and reapply it and then char it himself to make it look like it just got licked by the flames instead of totally scorched. Between the events of Halloween 1978 and then sitting in a drawer for 40 years and then the events of Halloween 2018, the mask would be pretty damn dirty. So what Charles did to make it look even more burned was apply a sort of rust color to the cracks and crevices of the mask, and I think they look absolutely amazing. That might be my favorite feature. The biggest competition for that favorite feature though though is actually how it smells. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but instead of smelling like crusty, cracked latex, which is disgusting, it smells like a fall bonfire, and that makes sense because he actually cooked it over a bonfire, but I love it. I've had it for just over 2 weeks now, and even though I've taken it to work and over to my friend Courtlan's house to film B-roll and the intro, it still smells exactly like it did when I took it out of the box, and I hope it stays like that forever. Now, as for how close this will be to the actual movie, of course I don't know, but I think it really depends on what they're going for. Halloween 2018 went through all this effort to make Michael Myers a human being who could withstand unimaginable amounts of pain and physical damage. The key distinction there though between this movie and the other movies is that he is a human being. So while we've seen him get hit by a car and survived, and then be stabbed and survive, and then be shot multiple times and survive, and then be hit with a frying pan and survive on top of everything else that happened in last year's movie, the idea of an entire burning house falling down on top of him and him walking out of that is a little bit unbelievable, and I feel like if they do that, they might be jumping the shark. So one possibility is they don't explain how he escaped, and then one day he just shows back up on Halloween with a slightly charred mask and burned skin, and then we don't even question it throughout the entire movie. There is still the very real possibility though that he could have used his good hand to tear out the bars and just leave the house. He is established to be abnormally strong for a human being, let alone a 60-year-old man, and that would explain why the mask wouldn't be so charred. As far as theories go that support the mask we made, I feel like that's the most believable one, but at the end of the day, I'm just glad I don't know. For last year's movie, we knew pretty much the entire plot thanks to the trailers spoiling everything, so it's nice to not know stuff for once. But it is also evident that for their own Halloween 2, they are taking more inspiration from Halloween 2, so if they want to reintroduce the idea of Samhain and Michael being powered by the literal force of Halloween, I'm kinda all for that. David Gordon Green already proved he knows how to ground the more fantastic stuff in the Halloween universe with last year's movie, so I feel like if they want to go with that idea of him being supernatural, they don't have to acknowledge it, but they can show it without telling us. No matter what they decide to do, I'm confident that they know they have to make sure the mask looks like the next step in the evolutionary line from Halloween to Halloween 2018 and now Halloween Kills. We've had so many garbage redesigns of Michael Myers over the past 40 years that it kind of tarnishes the better entries in the series when you go back and watch them, especially in Halloween 4, where Michael Myers looks like a football player who got his gear at Goodwill. I mean, he looks terrible, and I love pretty much everything else about that movie. Regardless though, I hope you enjoyed this video because it was so much fun for me to make thanks to the fact that it was a team effort. My friends Courtlan and Ryan over at Oddest of the Odd helped me make the intro after work on Friday. My friend Wes stayed late at work to help me use our camera to shoot the awesome B-roll you saw throughout the entire thing. And of course, Charles went out of his way to create this mask just for me to make this video all about it. So once again, thank you so much to everyone who helped, and thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think this mask is close to what we're gonna see, or are you more into the ones that have the hair all burned off or at least on half the mask? Do you think we should have bubbled it up a little more? I just want to hear from you guys. But either way, I hope you're having a great October watching some scary movies. I cannot wait to make more videos. I have some good stuff on the list. Anyway guys, my name is Jimmy Champane, and I'll see you in the next one. Shape on.